era military collectibles. So in today's video what we're doing is we're covering a quick little documentary on an incident that happened in a town called Ennis, County Clare in the west of Ireland during the Civil War, the Irish Civil War that is we're talking about. So the street that is just here behind me is known as Carmody Street. Now I'm standing in out the way because it is a busy town or a busy street. Carmody Street is an it's a skirting road on this town, and literally about 800 yards down this road and take a right is where the barracks was that the Free State soldiers had taken over in the time of the War of Independence. Sorry, the Irish Civil War. It was a British barrack garrison during the War of Independence, but then it was taken over by the Free State during the Civil War. There's also two other barracks in this town that were taken over during the Civil War. We'll be visiting another one there now shortly. So what happened was, on April 21st, even though there had been a ceasefire called on April 20th, on April 21st, 1923, there was a Free State foot patrol just going up this street here, and they came in contact with two volunteers, IRA men. Now I can't find out whether they were known to the patrol or if they just happened to come across them. But the volunteers that they came across was a Christy Quinn and William O'Shaughnessy. And they were being searched by a private Canty, Stephen Canty from County Kerry. And whatever happened, a melee ensued. Christy Quinn, who was armed, took out a pistol, shot Private Canty. William O'Shaughnessy, who was being searched by Private Canty at the time, also took out a pistol and fired a few shots into the unfortunate private at the same time as well. They got away from the patrol and they hid. They were found, I think it was a day later, or that night I think they were found. There was two other individuals arrested subsequently in the operation that took place. One was a lad by the name of Paddy O'Mahony, and the other was Jim O'Leary, who were both arrested. Paddy O'Mahony was found to be having a gun on him that had, when it was checked by the officer of the patrol, it was seen to have been fired recently, so they don't know whether O'Shaughnessy or Quinn had passed off their firearms to him at that time, but he was found in possession of it, and he was with another man called Jim O'Leary, who were all arrested. The other two gentlemen were subsequently arrested later on that night, and we're going to go to basically where they were in prison, and we will explain what happened after that. So we're at the next location in our little documentary. Just excuse me if the car's going up and down behind us. We're trying to do this at a quiet time. So we're in what was the home barracks, what was known as home barracks. You can actually still see the original wall that runs the whole way around this place. Some of these walls are a couple of hundred years old now at this stage. But so as I said, this was home barracks. There was a big huge barracks here. All the individuals that were arrested after Private Stephen Canty had been killed, were brought to this location for trial and imprisonment. There's actually a plaque just here on the little wall over to my right hand side to state what happened to the individuals here. So as I said, April 23rd, there had been the 20th of April 1923, there had been a ceasefire called. The incident where Private Canty was killed happened on the 21st of April. So what do we do? There's been a ceasefire. So a military tribunal was held. O'Shaughnessy and Quinn were found guilty for shooting the private, obviously, because they had been witnessed in doing it. Private O'Mahony was found in possession of a gun, Paddy O'Mahony was found in possession of a gun, and Jim O'Leary, who was also with him, was implicated, but he was not found in possession of anything. So O'Shaughnessy, Quinn and Shaughnessy, Quinn and O'Malley were all sentenced to death, and O'Leary was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment. I actually have original pictures of the three that were sentenced to death, and Private Canty that I will insert here in the video. So as I said, all three of those men were sentenced to death. The executions were, though, because of the ceasefire and everything like that, they were sort of postponed for a small bit. Shaughnessy and Quinn weren't shot until, or executed until the 2nd of May, whereas Paddy O'Mahony was executed on the 26th of April. So pretty much not far straight after the incident that cost Private Canty his life. And somewhere in this perimeter, those three men were executed. We're actually going to go to their graveyard now, and I will show you their gravesite. Here we are for the next piece to the documentary. So this is where the three guys were buried. There is a fourth here, but I'm not sure about him yet. I still have to do a bit more research. So you have Christopher Quinn, Patrick Mahoney and William O'Shaughnessy. So Christopher Quinn and Shaughnessy were the two that had been stopped to be searched, and who initially were involved in the shooting of Private Canty, and Patrick Mahoney was the chap that was found with the gun that had been shown to have been fired. He was, as we said, he was executed pretty much. The ambush happened on the 21st. He was executed on the 26th. And because there had been a ceasefire called on the 20th, they weren't too sure what to do with Quinn and Shaughnessy, but they were later executed on the 2nd of May. So yeah, so here the three of them rest. As I said, you have to look at the Irish Civil War as well as the War of Independence. The War of Independence used to be the one that gets the more focus, whereas this Civil War needs to be looked at as well, and needs to be studied. As you can see here, there were very, very young men. O'Mahony was the oldest. He's actually O'Mahony. I don't know why they have just a Mahony here, but he's 25. Christopher Quinn was 21, and William O'Shaughnessy was just 18 years of age. So very, 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 very young men. Believed what they were doing was right. It's not my place to say now with hindsight whether their status was wrong or right. They believed what they were doing at the time was right. So we will remember them, and we will study the conflict at the time. So I hope you like what we provide here at Air at Military Collectibles. Please like, please subscribe, and please tune in for the next video. And as always, if you want to get in contact with the channel, there's an email at the top of the video description. And if you want to contribute to the channel, there's also an Amazon wish list there as well. So thank you very much.